Yo, it's Novelli. New mic. Let's see if I can make it sound any better. 4:29 a.m. April 23rd, 2024. Accepting situations plus not emotionally reacting. I thought about this one because I just had a mindset shift. It's really about both sides of those two different topics because very simply, like, what else is there to do in a situation but accept it? Especially when it's something negative, like, what are you gonna do? Like, if you can't change it, then, just accept it, I guess. And if you can change it, do something about it. And then, whenever it comes to emotionally reacting to things like disrespect and even those same situations that you might give you some stress or something, I think it's just better to not emotionally react all the time. Um, if you jump at every little sign of disrespect and are ready to confront and fight everybody nonstop, and that's how you want to solve everything, you're gonna end up behind bars or dead or something. It's something we all know to an extent, but I feel like certain cultures, or whether it be online or in person, wherever you live or stay at, whatever kind of community you're part of, that you have to be some no tolerance, just ready to annihilate anybody that dares to disrespect you or make you feel some kind of way. And it's just not the way to move. And I hate bringing race into anything, but I feel like being black and liking hip hop and that culture as well, um, I feel like there's like a strong message of quote unquote not being a bitch, or not letting disrespect slide. And you even have that meme, the guy's like, me personally, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect or whatever. It's just like, it's a meme, it's a joke, but, people really have that mindset. You might have heard it in real life too, in like class or something, like somebody says something that's a little off, you know, a little slight at you, and then somebody next to you be like, what you gonna do about that, bro? Like, really trying to instigate and trying to egg stuff on, trying to put you in a position where you feel like you need to jump up and fight that person over that thing that they just said. It's just really ridiculous. And sadly, it affects people. It makes people feel like they need to lash out and really stick it to somebody, all for what? Like, it's all egocentric a little bit, because you put way too much value into what somebody said, especially if it's some BS. Like, if it's BS and you know it is, you gotta just let that go, bro. Especially if it's not something serious. Like, if it's not something that you really need to clear the air on. Like, you didn't just get hit with some crazy allegations or something. Like, what are you trying to like prove that you're not a quote unquote bitch for? Like, honestly, like, do you care that much about what people say or whatnot? Like, people not gonna remember that the next day, bro. Like, people not gonna be thinking about, oh, he got punked, he got bitched. Like, it's really just a crazy scenario, because there's like a big downside, like a big risk, and like a very low reward. Like, best case scenario, you win a fight, and I guess like a Reddit story, if you know, you know, like everybody claps, I guess. Like, you successfully defended your title of not being a bitch, or you just earned your not being a bitch award or something. But worst case scenario, you could get in trouble, whatever trouble that might be. Maybe you're in school and it's like a suspension and expulsion. Maybe it was in school and you get like arrested or something. Maybe you serve time wherever you are. It's just like, is it worth that little 15 seconds of fame to show that you didn't get bitched or whatever? Like, I don't think it is. If you need to like really prevent bullying, then I guess I could see that point of view. Like, you can't sit there and let stuff keep happening if somebody's a repeated offender against you or people you care about. Like, I wouldn't let somebody just keep hitting me and assaulting me. At some point it's just self-defense, but I'm talking more so about in verbal warfare and deciding, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and hurt them. Basically, like I said, I had a shift in my mindset. I decided I'm not gonna really do much if somebody does something quote unquote disrespectful as a one timer. You know, if it's some repeated actions with the same person, I think you gotta take action eventually. But I don't celebrate bullying, nor do I celebrate being a loose cannon or acting like that's hard or cool, even though a lot of people will push that, that, oh, I won't take no disrespect type of shit and be ready to fight or pull a gun on somebody over a very insignificant situation, like somebody stepped on your shoes or something, or bumped into you slightly. It's really getting ridiculous. Another reason to be less ready to fight at any given moment over disrespect is because you don't know who you're dealing with, especially if it's a stranger. You don't know what that person's capable of. You don't know what they're willing to do in order to salvage their pride or their ego. You don't know if they're ready to kill you over you in a situation where you're getting disrespected. You don't know if they're ready to kill you or do something insane to you over you just sticking up for yourself. I think it's always not easier, but safer if you value your life more than protecting your public image or something, protecting your hardness, your coldness. I think walking away from the situation alive is the utmost priority, or at least should be. Two situations that actually happened in real life that I can think back to where I actually had to make the decision to, like, not engage in the potential fight just out of preserving myself. One was at prom, and then one was at prom in my senior year of high school, and then one was recently at the rec center of my college. The one in high school, it was something very insignificant, like I mentioned before. All this stuff is just not that important to even fight over, but a dude had bumped me while I was at prom, and I like turned around and I was like, because I wanted to see if you look back, like when somebody does something, you have to check and look at them and see if they look back at you to see if they did it on purpose. I did that whole thing, and he just kept on walking. I thought about like confronting him, but I was just like, bro, what am I gonna get out of this? Like, if I confront him and we get off the fighting, I'm gonna get kicked out. It's gonna ruin my prom night. Some night that I can't really get back. I was there with friends and stuff. It was just like I would just be getting kicked out just for the hell of it, like just because, all because I couldn't let that slide. It's just you gotta make decisions like that. Like, what do you really care about? And then the other one at the rec center that happened like a week, 2 or 3 weeks maybe ago, maybe a month. But I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was hooping, and usually I just shoot around, and it's always dudes playing full court, so they take up the full court, so you kind of have to shoot your shot while they're on the other end of the court before they come back down. And me and some other guys are shooting around, and a few times we don't get off the court in time for the guys that are playing full court basketball and their little pickup game to like have a fair play, I guess. We were kind of interfering a little bit unintentionally. Emphasis on the unintentional. It wasn't like we were just being dickheads or anything. We weren't just being rude, but sometimes, people were noticing that people were coming back down the court towards our direction, and they would get mad and tell us to get off the court, or, watch out. Some were a little bit nicer about it. Some were, get off the court, being real forceful about it, I guess, verbally. But so that happened like a couple of times, and one particular dude got really mad and yelled or whatever. And so one time my ball like rolled onto the court with like mid play for them, and he grabbed my ball, saw it. He knew that it came from our area of the court. He saw where all of us were shooting around. So he looks at my ball, he grabs it mid play, and then throws it off to the side intentionally. Like he froze for a second. It wasn't like it was like a quick spur of the moment. I have to get the ball out of the way so I can continue this play. He didn't have the game ball in his hand. He picked up my ball as it rolled over to him, looked at it, paused, had an angry look on his face, and then tossed it to the side onto the court next to the court that they were playing on. So the play had stopped or something for whatever reason. I don't know if it stopped because of my ball's interference. But I had walked up on him. I was like, I don't remember what I said exactly. I didn't like say anything too confrontational. That was like ready to start a fight. But I was like, yo, why did you throw my ball to the side? Or like, bro, what are you doing? And I kind of like lightly touched his arm, which I wasn't expecting, and he just kind of like swatted it away very lightly, which I'm glad that it didn't escalate further than that. But I went to pick up my ball and whatnot. I didn't start anything else. But that was another moment where I could have just decided to swing or start something that didn't really need to be started. And I kind of told myself mentally, if I have further issues with him, then I will retaliate based off his actions. Because this isn't the first time with him. It is the first time with me and him, but I have seen him on the court like bickering with other people, like very heavily over calls, foul calls and stuff like that, and getting real loud and trying to argue and shit over stuff that really don't even really matter that much. And I've seen it at least twice. He was doing it that same day actually. He was like really running his mouth. And I'm just like, man. But I was like, yeah, you know what? If I have any further issues with him, I'm gonna let hands fly. But I wasn't gonna do it that day. I was like, all he did was throw my ball. He didn't run up on me. He didn't get in my face. He didn't put his hands on me um, in a fighting manner, in an intimidating manner, or anything. So I just kind of let it be. And you gotta have more moments like that. You can't be ready to fight about everything. You can't be ready to lash out about everything and potentially lose whatever you have to lose. I could have gotten banned from the rec center, whether for the rest of the semester, which isn't that much longer, or just for the rest of the time that I'm here at this college in general. Like I could have just gotten banned right there if I decided to fight him. And from the outsider's perspective, anybody that didn't actually see what happened, it would seem like I just punched him first for no reason as well. If they did ask the question who punched who first, I would have to say me. It would have been me retaliating over something that I saw as disrespect and potentially throwing away stuff, throwing away my ability to go to the rec or my ability of freedom or something. Maybe I could have gotten charged or whatever for assault or something. I don't know. But yeah, one of the mindset shifts I had recently, just don't throw away or give yourself the potential to throw away your life or have it taken from you over some petty dispute you had with somebody. Don't even allow that to happen. The second side, the accepting situation side, just came from not moping so much or not allowing yourself to make yourself unhappy. Like you're always gonna have situations that don't go your way, and a lot of them are out of your control. It's just like, why give power to it, It's just a stoic thing, I don't know. It's probably covered in stoicism, I'm sure, and probably other philosophies as well. But just accepting whatever happens And when it comes to people, I guess accepting the way people are. Not that it's okay, not that they get a pass, but if you know somebody routinely does certain stuff to you and you can't really escape it, um, like if you're in like a relationship that's authority driven, like parents or boss or some kind of leader or whatever, maybe you just have to accept that that's how things are going to be until you can get out of that. Um, Otherwise, you're probably just going to keep getting upset over it over and over and over and again. So, better to just accept the situation, accept whatever is going on, and try to plan around it, try to make a solution if there is one. If there is nothing you can do, whatever is ailing you, whatever's plaguing your mind, stressing you, then realize that there is nothing you can do. So just have fun or do whatever you can do to make yourself happiest. In the meantime, no sense in stressing further or catastrophizing or doing anything else that'll just end up making you unhappy or sad or upset or whatever. The mindset shift to simply radically accepting situations is just basically going, oh well, and you don't have to be a slave to your situation, I guess. But like I said before, just go, oh well, and see if there's something you can do about it. And if you can, great. And if you can't, great. Like, then there's not much else to do. Just move on, accept, let go, and keep pressing forward. There are just two attitude adjustments I had recently. One that'll probably help you survive longer, I guess. It's a safer alternative and whatnot, which is the not emotionally reacting to everything. And then two, the accepting situations part increased my happiness or my resilience to like go through rough things. Because either way you're gonna go through it, like it's happened already. Like that's what the main point is. Like it's already happened, or it's already happening. So it's kind of like, what can you do? What are you going to do about it? And stop focusing on the pain so much. Stop focusing on, oh, you're not being treated fairly or whatever. We're all gonna encounter points like that where we're not receiving the treatment that we wish we had, and that's just simply out of our control. And we have to press on. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure it was even part of my first video that I made as one of the things that actually made me happier. I can't remember for sure, but if it wasn't, it should have been one of them. Because I just be sitting back and laughing about some of the stuff that goes on now. Not that I had like super troubling problems or anything anyways, but you just like kind of treat stuff, you see stuff in a new light. It's no longer so burdensome and whatnot. It's just funny, like, that really happened. Oh well, I guess I'll keep going on. And you realize it's not the end of the world. Like, you'll recover. Or sometimes you'll just realize it's not even something to recover from. It's literally like the smallest setback or the smallest disturbance or annoyance or inconvenience. And you just have to sit back and take a moment to accept that it's happened, and boom. I don't know how easy that is from the jump, like as a beginner doing it regularly, because I started it like a month or two ago, that I was just like radically accepting. But I think as long as you do it consistently, and I think eventually it'll just become your baseline. That's like, it's just what you do. It just gets to the point where that's just how you operate. Just basically stand up for yourself, but in a safe way, and don't value your pride or your honor over you or anybody you're with's safety. And the second part is to just accept situations when they happen. Accept how you'll be affected, accept what you can or can't do about it, then take your actions, I guess. No reason to keep worrying yourself about how things will play out or what will happen because you don't know. You simply don't know. Much better to accept and move forward.